Hey, hi, good evening. It's our Monday night update for LEO Glossary. Taskmaster's here joining me, so let's get going. How are you this week?
I'm doing okay. Still on the road, so I'll probably be back to my own digs next week. But
Mm.
just plugging along through Leo land.
So, are they gonna? I'm missing those the music in the party room.
Yeah, it's the embedded or lack of embedded videos showing up is certainly a major problem on many different levels, and certainly Caleb Marvel's party room is kind of shot to hell because a lot of that is embedded videos,
Right.
uh, embedded music, and the music on Leo stuff doesn't show up. I mean, it just I don't know what happened. I mean, there's other things on the long form post. Markdowns don't work, but that certainly is a major issue right now, and quite frankly, a major drawback to the platform.
Yeah, because we're trying to build this database with because I put some stuff up there starting containers for knitting, and it's like, uh-oh, I can't embed videos. Well, I can start the containers, and then when the videos come back on, I can start plugging them in. But I don't really want to do like would it make sense to put the links to videos in for now?
I don't think that just puts links there. I mean, the
Right,
links
right.
don't bring up the window. So I mean, it's a major drawback to the platform, and uh, to be blunt, it's turned the platform into a crappy product. And this at a time when there's an outreach and excitement in other areas. I mean, what kind of social media platform in 2024 doesn't have video integration? I mean, can you imagine X without being able to put up videos and share videos? And that's exactly what we have. You can't share videos, you can't put up videos, so we're stuck with a text and image um, platform. Well, text and image isn't very valuable. Video is.
Right.
So, I mean, this is something that they need to address, and in my opinion, needs to be addressed very quickly.
Yeah, there's some urgency to it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I mean, video is the most valuable form of media there is. And you go through YouTube, YouTube's all video, but you go through
Right.
Twitter, you go through, I mean, look at TikTok. So I understand where there may be some problems getting uploading from Leo and having its own video platform, which that should be a priority too. But
Uh-huh.
okay, maybe there's technical issues, but you can't even embed a video. I mean, we're talking like 2005 stuff, and you're trying to compete. It doesn't fly. So, um, on the AMA tomorrow, I certainly will be bringing this up, and I mean, it's just everything should be put. I mean, not everything, but everything on the development, the bug fixing, that should be the first thing that gets fixed.
Right, because this impacts so much. I mean, it impacts everything really that we're trying to do.
Yeah, it does that, but I think it's even more fundamental. You want new users, and then all of a sudden they try to embed a video, and it's like you can't do it.
Right, and if they're paying for premium, which is, allows them those supposed to allow them those characters.
Yeah, yeah, to embed it. Yeah, and it's just, I mean, this has to be resolved because You don't have any type of platform without video integration. You don't. It's just give it up, lock it up. So I mean, just shut the doors because you're trying to compete with something. You can't compete with anything. You want to try stealing users away from YouTube? How? The stuff can't show up on Leo. So I think this is a major issue more than what we're working on and what some other people are working on. This is just something that's fundamental. And if you don't have video on your platform, I mean, at least to share from other platforms. For years, Twitter didn't allow uploading videos. I don't even know if Twitter does now. Um, Facebook, I don't know if they allowed it, but they all allowed YouTube videos to be embedded and crap like that. Well, if you can't put and I think, quite honestly, I think it should be designed where a YouTube video, you put the link in there, it shows up as the viewer. Because if you do that on Twitter, that's what happens.
So in other words, instead of embedding the code, you just put the link. You just put the link to the video. Is that what
Yeah,
you?
you put the link to the video in your thread, and it pulls the viewer. I believe that's how I'll have to test it. I believe that's how X works. And the same thing should be with TikTok. You take the TikTok video, you throw it in, and it shows up. You throw the URL in, and the video shows up. That should be standard.
Right.
Especially if you have mobile users. I mean, again, this stuff is the basics. If you don't have the basics, you don't have anything. And this is what frustrates the hell out of me about a lot of aspects of Hive. Yeah, people talking about, well, marketing, we need marketing, we need marketing. And it's like, I spent 30 years in sales and marketing. If you have a shit product, the only thing marketing does is it drives a company into bankruptcy quicker. And if we're dealing with a shit product and you're going out and marketing, you're just wasting your time. Nobody is going to stay. There's going to be
No.
no retention. I mean, that's just how it is. And we've seen this over 6 years with Hive. And people wonder, well, what is it going to take to retain people?
For
Have a
things to
fucking
work.
product. Provide products and services that people actually want. But I stand alone on this island. Everybody talks about the same shit over and over and over again, instead of building crap people can use. And I like the Leo concept, but let's be honest. What do you have to use right now? A text platform, maybe some images, polls. Okay, these are all worthwhile, but who knows when they'll disappear because polls has the issue of disappearing at times.
Yeah, it gets moody and takes off for a while and then.
Well, I mean that's simply unacceptable. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
but and I understand development's not easy, but we're 3 weeks into supposedly focusing on bug fixes. Well, you know, what's the plan?
Because if you want people to stay, this stuff's got to work.
Yeah,
Bottom line.
and social media is to the point now where there's a certain level of expectation if you go to a social media platform. It's that simple. And if you don't have basic features, you got nothing. You absolutely have nothing.
And video is really a basic feature now. I mean, everybody watches videos.
Exactly. Exactly.
They want to watch a video before they read anything.
Yeah, and it'd be like having a blogging platform to compete, let's say, against WordPress. And then somebody goes up and tries to upload an image, and it's like you can't upload an image, which we can't upload images either. How come people can't upload images? It's you're telling me that you're having a social media platform and you can't upload images? I
That's
embed
never
them,
why.
so I mean, I just grab the URLs and embed them in threads, but and in my blog posts, but again, what is the issue here? Images are important, and people can't upload an image. So, what kind of microblogging platform do you have if you cannot upload an image from your phone of a photo you took, or you can't embed a video, can't post a video, you can't share a video, you rethread a poll and the poll doesn't show up? What are we dealing with?
And wasn't that half SQL or whatever supposed to be taking care of all of this?
Um, it doesn't take care of a lot of it because the
Okay.
video embedding and stuff. I don't know if that has to do with FSQL or what.
Okay.
But I mean, that was pulling older data and stuff like that. Um, but it's at this point I don't care what the problem is. Fix it.
Right.
Now enough with the excuses. Fix it. If you are not going to have the basics of it, then get rid of microblogging. Say we can't do it. Doesn't work. You
And
know,
then we would just do long form and
and
be able,
we all could go to Twitter like most of Hive is at anyway. That's where most of Hive resides anyway, is on Twitter. So, I mean, it's if you're going to try to put up a product, and this is what I keep saying, this is what I keep writing about. Web3 needs services. What services are you offering? And on Hive, I don't see anything useful anyway. Blogging for money. Well, we don't want to talk about that. Okay, what else are you going to talk about? Free Speak? Free Speak's a garbage app. That's a proof of concept. It's open source. They designed it for somebody to fork it and actually build something on. Nobody did. You know. Now their resources are going to build out Speak Network, so that's infrastructure. So there's a reason why they didn't tend to Three Speak, but nobody has addressed that. On the platform. Why not? So I mean, it just we just keep chasing our tail.
yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
Oh, it is, and it's just what the hell are you doing? I mean, where what the hell are you trying to accomplish? And Cal talks about the Everything app. It's a nothing app if you don't have video. If you can't upload images, it's a nothing app. So fix that yesterday. The other stuff, fine. It'd be nice to be able to upload it. We take a video and upload it directly into Leo. Okay, but that takes time. That technical issues. Okay, fine. Omit that. Because as I said, I don't know if you can do it with Twitter. I don't know if you can do it with Facebook, but okay, that's not the end of the world, at least right now. But images, I can't upload an image to on a blog post. So you're telling me I just have to put a text?
That's so 1990s. I mean,
Exactly. I mean, isn't that what we're looking at? I mean, it's probably a temporary situation. And I've been building Leo Glossary pages, and I've been putting the embed in there, even though it doesn't show up. But again, this has been a week and a half or something. That should have been addressed immediately.
I was wondering how long, because yeah, the party room hasn't had video in it for. a long time now.
Yeah, it's been the video's been probably 4 or 5 days at least, and the images people started talking about that a week and a half ago, and they aren't able to upload them. So what's going on?
What's going on indeed?
Yeah, I mean it's and when you're trying to build something and the talk is, well, we want to give you the tools, but then the tools disappear. It's the trust starts to dissipate, and that's a major problem.
It is, because you're doing like a crap ton of work every day putting all this stuff together, and it's like, now what do you do? Are you
Well,
like,
there's always, that's why I've never been bothered by it, because there's always other things I can do. But I'll tell you what, Cal's not going to be given the same rope from most people as I give him. And he's fucking up. He is losing people. And, you know, I'm sorry, you can talk about all the marketing fucking bullshit you want. You don't have a viable product. You don't even have a minimal viable product at this point. So, this idea of doing all this other shit, it's why people don't believe him. And his track record is garbage. You cannot have repeated failures and expect people to keep standing by you,
no, you
especially if
can't.
you pick up the small stuff. And that's just the way it is. And I don't know whether it's because of his age or what. I don't know whether it's because he's listening to a bunch of fucking idiots or what. He's certainly not talking to me, you know. But they want to sit and hang out in spaces all day and talk all this shit. What the fuck are you guys talking about? So that's the disconnect I see.
Because, the potential is so much. There's so much potential if they get it working the way it's supposed to work.
Yeah, well, see, Elon Musk is a genius. Elon Musk has the number one, I don't know if it's the number one brand in the world, but number one car brand without any advertising. How did he do it? He did it with one simple premise. It starts with build an exceptional product. That's his first premise. He works from first principles. Build an exceptional product, and it'll market itself. And that's what they've always done at Tesla. Well, how does INLEO do it? And I'll tell you what, that's what he's going to do with Twitter. He's going to end up building an exceptional product. It may take him some time, but he's already talked about that within the next couple months. You are not going to phone or text him other than through Twitter. So that tells me he's going after communication companies. He's already filed for money transmittal licenses. He's going after PayPal. He's added some other things. He added long form posts to Twitter. I don't know if that's worth a damn. But at some point Grok's going to be integrated into it if it's not already, and people are going to be able to use Grok through there. So this is what he's doing, and I would say, and I'm on record as saying, when it comes to the Web 2 wars, I put my money on Elon. He can't compete with Web 3 if somebody actually builds out Web 3 in a sensible way, but he can. He'll clean the clock in Web 2. He will suck. If you Do you know what the milkshake theory is?
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Um, what the hell's his name? Johnson. What the hell's his first name? Brent. Brent Johnson. I think it's Brent Johnson. He's the one. I don't know if if that's his original theory, but he's the one I heard it from. And he talks about the U.S. dollar, and he said basically the milkshake theory is if you and I have a milkshake, and I take my straw and I put my straw in your milkshake, and I start drinking out of your milkshake, I'm taking part of your milkshake. And it's the same thing with the dollar. He says that the US dollar is going to take the value, suck the value out of all these other currencies. He's not saying necessarily the dollar's wonderful, but he's simply saying that it's better than the rest. And for a variety of reasons, it's going to take the value out of the euro, it's going to take value away from the yen, et cetera, et cetera. It's like a milkshake. So you're putting your straws in other people's milkshake and drinking their milkshake. That's
Hmm.
what I believe Elon's going to do with value in social media. He's going to take the value away from YouTube, Meta, and these other applications by integrating so much into um, X that that's going to be your go-to destination. And he's going to have a superior product that offers a lot more than the others. And I wouldn't be surprised if a year from now, not only do they have payment systems, they have all kinds of financial services. Maybe he goes out and buys a mortgage company. Maybe he goes out and, buys a Robinhood. But whatever it is, he's going to offer a lot more because I've read up on what his plan was with PayPal, which, Peter Thiel and the rest turned down. And, he wanted something much bigger than a payment system. So, in this regard, um, that's what you're up against. And we can't even get photo uploads to work. I mean, you know, that's a problem because you're going up against people who are not playing around.
No, he definitely doesn't mess around.
No, and it's the same thing with some of these other players who are entering Web3. Now, I think there's a little cushion because they're all trying to build on Ethereum, which I still stand by. You can't really run social media on Ethereum because of the fees. You can't even run it on BSC because I mean, who the hell is going to pay 5 cents for a comment or an upvote to give them? You're just not. So, but the clock's ticking, and it's the old saying, the proof's in the pudding. You are what your record says. I mean, you can't run from your record. Well, what's the record?
Stuff's not working.
If you want to get back down to brass knuckles, that's about it. You don't even have an MVP. After a year of operation, you don't even have an MVP. I mean that's basically what you're looking at. So, you know, what does it mean? I mean, Pete D doesn't develop much. I mean, Ecency I hear is doing some things, but you know, what's really being offered? And this keeps coming back to the same old problem. People talk about Hive like it's something exceptional. It's like, well, what the hell are you talking about? What are you building? And this is stuff that's not even dealing with infrastructure. A lot of the financial stuff I've written about that couldn't be built now, even if you wanted to, because it requires smart contracts, it requires exchange dexes, it requires infrastructure. VSC's working on it. Speak Network's working on some of it. Block Trades is working on some of it. So, I mean, there's infrastructure that's required. So, okay, a lot of this stuff that I've talked about with bonding and lending platforms and things of that nature, you really can't do it at this time. But basic social media, That should have been built. How come it's not working? And I commend Leo for taking the initiative because really they're the only ones going at it, I think, in a way that makes sense compared to, um, they're not just focusing on blogging. But if stuff doesn't work, stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, and then people there's people that have a very low tolerance for frustration, so they're not going to stick around.
No, because they're users. The only ones who stick around are the ones who think like owners. Outside of that, nobody else is going to stick around. Users will leave because the user experience sucks. So it's that plain and simple. Fix the user experience. And to me, the user experience is if somebody wants to upload an image from their phone, they should be able to. You can't get a fucking image server to work? Fix it. It just, that's what it really comes down to. Again, go back, use the block trades image server. That one works. Okay, it may not lay up a line correctly, but at least it works. So, I mean, these are things that when people start to lose confidence, and like you said, most people are not going to give you any slack. And all the while, somebody is out there, including Elon, including Vitalik, including VC funded projects, they're out there getting stronger.
Yeah, I'm just I keep keeping my fingers crossed, thinking, okay, this is just going to be for a little while, and then they're going to get it working again.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they will. I know development's not easy,
No, I
but
meant
see, also here's the problem with the lack of communication. Why aren't embedded videos working? I mean, this is again, in my opinion, when it comes to a social media platform, this is MVP stuff. So we're not even at MVP level because this is the bare minimum in 2024. Image upload, like you said, that's 1995, maybe 1998, but
yeah, yeah.
it's not 2024 innovation, and that's where we're at. So, in fact, I think somebody asked about that in the threadcast.
Yeah. Where is that? Yeah, might possibly. Has anyone heard anything about an ETA for a fix for embedded videos not showing in threads?
I mean, I haven't heard of why. I mean, forget an ETA. I haven't even heard of why it doesn't work. And I mean, there's something where Markdown doesn't work. Nothing centers anymore on your long form posts if you use Markdown. I understand if you use HTML, it works. But again, people are designing. I mean, you have years worth of articles and images aren't showing up in them anymore. Um, Images that are there aren't centered. I mean, that's a again, that's a problem. You just took people's work and just totally changed it. And if this stuff is out there and you're looking for evergreen content, well, if somebody shows up on my page and the images are all messed up, what kind of presentation does that give to people?
It's like, what the hell is this and where am I?
Yeah, it's like, yo, who's this jackass? Look at these. This wrote an article, and okay, maybe it's a decent article, but all the pictures are left centered. How come they're not centered on the page? Well, they were, but all of a sudden the platform doesn't recognize the code. The markdown code. I mean, whatever was changed, unchange it.
Yeah, it would really be, it's important for them to come out and say, okay, this is going on, that's going on, that's why isn't working, and like might possibly say, what's the ETA? I mean, how long do you think it's going to be before this stuff is working again and stays working?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's if you don't have a viable product, why are you fucking with Maya? I mean, and Maya is a separate issue. I mean, it's so I'm not totally opposed to that, but again, it's like we're probably going to hear after Maya's up there about marketing talk. It's like, what, are you kidding me? Who the hell is going to use this platform?
Who's going to invest in it? Because
That's the other thing. With exactly, it's if you don't have the bare basics, what are you trying to sell?
they're talking about, putting your Leo in a liquidity pool, but I mean, who's going to come here and
Well, that is a different scenario because that's
okay,
financial. Now you're talking about transactions. Now you're talking about people trying to get out of Hive and into Bitcoin or whatever. And Leo is the pathway through Leo to that. Okay, that makes sense.
okay,
And now you also build a separate app where you could use Leo to buy your Bitcoin or to swap your Ethereum for Bitcoin or swap your USDC for Bitcoin or whatever you want to do through Maya. Okay, that's cool, and that generates fees. Okay, good. But again, that's a totally different issue. That's financial. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but to say you're a social media platform,
you need to
well, if
focus
I
on
can't upload pictures, what kind of are in 2024? What kind of social media platform are you? And maybe they have to rebuild the image server totally. I don't know. I was very empathetic of the situation with Half and SQL. That was not their fault. And I don't really necessarily blame Mark Cage either. I mean, the guy got hacked. Should he have had more security? Yeah, probably. But uh, you know, it happened. It was a rough 3 weeks, but you know, you knew damn well he was working night and day to get that thing up and going. And it also revealed that something else is needed, and half SQL could be that solution. And maybe this is related to half SQL. I don't know. I don't know the technical side of things.
me. They're not even close.
No, and I'm not going to pretend to be able to even guesstimate what the problem is. I have honestly no idea.
So hopefully they will get this or let us know what's going on and give us an ETA, some kind of. But yeah, people want pictures. People, and I forgot who posted that this morning about he's writing books and putting them, creating audiobooks because most people listen to audiobooks rather than reading a physical book. I did reply. I said, well, I'm one of those people that still likes to hold a book and read it. I don't really listen to audiobooks that much. But yeah, it's just another, people like video, people like to listen to something.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I understand that. uh, I mean, again, you can find these audiobooks on YouTube and embed them. And,
Mhm.
if you're creating something on Leo using threads and creating a library of audiobooks using the embedded YouTube videos or audios,
Mhm.
that's all shot to shit, temporarily. And it's like, why? You want to say you want people building, but the people who are building are ended up getting screwed over because now you're at a situation where what they're building doesn't work. And again, you get one shot at people's eyeballs often. And if their eyeballs come across and, here's somebody who has an image of an audiobook, maybe the image is still there. There's a little bit of word written, and it's a click on this to play the audiobook, and there's nothing there. It's like, well, that's stupid. And the people leave and they never come
Mhm.
back.
And yeah, they don't come back.
Nope, they're gone. You get one shot. And that I think is something that has to be stressed. And if it isn't, then I think we're going to continue to have problems.
I mean, I get him, and maybe I have the wrong impression. I don't know. It just seems like they're trying to fix a whole lot of stuff at once. But when, and like we said, development's not easy. It's, no cakewalk, no walk in the park. But it seems like when they're trying to fix a bunch of stuff, a bunch of other stuff goes.
Yeah, and I understand that's part of development, but again, what is your priority?
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck about stake weighted polls. That's not a priority. Polls are a priority, but forget your stake weighted polls. Just get it so when I thread a poll, rethread a poll, the damn poll shows up. Or when I take a poll and I drop it into a threadcast, it works. You know, make sure videos appear. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Um, this is just basic stuff. I mean, can you imagine being on Twitter and retweeting a poll or whatever the hell they call it these days of reposting a poll
Uh huh.
and the poll doesn't show up? I mean, what would people think?
They think Elon went to sleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would be, what is this? I've sent out a poll. I retweeted a poll, and I have 100,000 Twitter followers or whatever. I mean, I don't, but let's just say I did. And so I retweet a poll to 100,000 people, 100,000 accounts, and the poll disappears. There's just a question, you know,
And they're like,
do
what?
you like cats or dog? Do you like? And then there's nothing there. I mean, it's absurdity. It really is absurdity. And I don't know if it's just going in too many directions at one time and trying to do too much. Probably so.
So people got our thread cast to the top of the page. That's a first. Thank you for that. For
Yeah, that was good. Nice to see those. I don't know how actively they were used. I mean, we know the music room is dead. Not dead, but it's slowed. I mean, I've been spending my time just extending LEO Glossary terms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's basically what I've been doing this week because I'm sure I could add more music and it'll be there when the feature returns.
So it's not working, like it's not working on the production site, nor is it working on in labs. Am I understand? Because I haven't been on labs at all, so the pictures aren't. Um, was it nothing showing up like embedded videos or pictures, images?
I haven't tested labs, but I think Coyote did, and he said it's the same thing there.
Oh, okay.
So it's a situation where I don't think it's working on labs either, which means there's no update. So whatever they did to zap it, they're not unzapping it. And I mean, I haven't even looked at the activity lately, but I bet the activity's down.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it must be. I was like, I was trying to do the containers and put videos in there for knitting. I'm like, why is it not showing up? Am I doing something wrong? And I delete it and try and do it again. And oh, I guess not. It's just like not showing up.
Yeah, it's just the bottom line is user experience is everything. And if it's a shitty user experience, you're going to lose people.
And like you said, people are here for a lot of them are users. They're coming here to show their stuff or whatever, or look at videos, look at what people had for lunch or whatever.
Yeah, I mean they it's very obvious what people do and you know how they behave, and they certainly are not behaving like owners. So they're users. So now, if you're a user, what is your priority? It's user experience. That's it. You don't care about tokenomics. You don't care about any of that shit. You don't care about Maya. You don't care. You just want to know, does this thing work? What can I do with it? And you try to upload a video, a picture, and it doesn't upload, they're gone. And the idea of, well, we're having some issues and this and that.
They don't care because
Nope.
they can go where things do work.
Yep. That's just it. I mean, let's be honest. Most people don't give a crap about Web3. Most people don't give a crap about, um, censorship resistant. They don't care.
They'll go on about getting their posts like deleted or whatever, getting flagged, but they still stay there. So
Yeah, it's exactly. Exactly. So, I mean,
because they can upload their pictures of, whatever they're having for dinner, their party or whatever, and
Yeah, you go to YouTube, you upload a video. I bet it works almost all the time. Rarely does it not work. And you go to Twitter. Most times you put up a picture, it shows up there. So we'll see what happens. But I just checked the activity, and I mean you know it's dropping.
and it was up there for a bit, when
Mhm.
stuff was working, it was.
It was growing, but now
Mhm.
it's dying again. And there was a little more a bump today from yesterday. I think that had to do with the AMA. I didn't look and see what Cal's AMA got, the Threadcast, but that probably got a created a whole bunch of more page views. So unfortunately, that's what we have to deal with. And people with the ownership mindset, they might be tolerant of it, but users will not.
Right. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to build. I want to build on Leo because I know, or I feel like it can, I feel like it's a good place to be. But, if all I wanted to do was make comments or like stuff or watch videos, I probably wouldn't hang around.
Yep, that is true. I mean, it's why would you?
Because I was pretty much talking about dumping my WordPress sites and, pointing the domains over to my accounts here on Hive, on Leo, because the domains kind of have the same names. So
Hmm.
I'm like, why should I? But I already paid for a year of hosting, so I might as well just hang out there for a while at least.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to save any money by switching over right now and dumping it. But again, do you get to the point where when it's time to renew, can you then make a change?
Right? Is it going to be stable enough?
I mean, you can always point it to your peak D if you want.
Well, that's true.
Doesn't help you with evergreen, but you could always point it to your peak D, and that's tends to be more stable.
Yeah, I have a few months left on the hosting yet, so I'm not going to do anything with all that.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the team's working on building things and fixing things, but it's just again, I mean, it's and I understand Maya, but when you're bringing up Maya, and it's like when you don't even have the basics of the platform right, this can give people a bad taste. And I understand the application has a dex that has extreme value. So Leo Dex could be a windfall for the entire platform. But then you're just a DEX, which there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with investing in that. And that could generate thousands and tens of thousands of dollars a month in fees. I mean, we know how DEXs can get huge, but is that all you're after?
So a DEX is a decentralized exchange. Is that
Yeah, it's like Uniswap. It's basically, I mean, that's what, I mean, Maya is not really an exchange because it's more like a protocol. But basically, what Maya does is Maya, from what I understand, is like a bridge between Ethereum, Bitcoin, and something else. Um, I forget what the other one is. But what they do is if you go, like when you go with your MetaMask and you say, okay, I want to swap um, USDC for Ethereum, and you're doing that through MetaMask, that's tied into a DEX. Now,
okay?
MetaMask is a wallet, but what you're doing is you're going through liquidity pools and it's making the transaction. Now, you could go directly to Uniswap and do it through Uniswap by linking your wallet and just doing it through there. That's what Cal is building, and he's put up screenshots where Leo Dex, uh, uh, I guess it'll use the Leo Dex IO. I don't know. Maybe it won't. Maybe it'll just be a subdomain. But Leo Dex will allow you to take your Ethereum and swap it for Bitcoin, or swap your Bitcoin for Ethereum, because it's tied into Maya, and Maya can do that. And so basically, what you're looking at is you'll be able to take Leo and swap it for Bitcoin, swap it for USDC, swap it for um, whatever's on Maya. Then at some point, you'll be able to go one step further, and you'll be able to enter in Hive or HBD or anything on Hive Engine, even CTP. And you could end up going through Leo and converting that to Bitcoin or Ethereum or USDC or USDT or whatever. So that's what Leo Dex will be able to do. And each time that happens, there's naturally transaction fees. And then you can play with ideas and get innovative on what the fees are. So, one of the things Cal mentioned in the thread is maybe people get a slight discount if they're Leo Premium. So, the fee is X, your Leo Premium, you get X less 10%, just throwing out numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Then maybe there's something tied to Leo Power. If you have X number of Leo Power, you get X minus 10%, whatever. So you incentivize people from a financial perspective to either pick up more Leo and power it up, or you add another feature to Leo Premium to make that more attractive.
Or if you put so much in the liquidity pool, you get a discount.
Well, the liquidity pool is going to have payouts. So you're doing that.
Oh,
You're putting stuff in the liquidity pool because that's generating fees, and there probably will be some type of payout in Leo or in Cacao for that. So I mean that you're doing, kind of like any other liquidity pool for the return.
okay. Yeah, I don't quite understand how those work, but
Well, what happens is each time you make a transaction that, the liquidity pool gets a fee, and
right.
it may be only a few cents,
Hmm.
but that goes into the liquidity pool. And ultimately that's paid out to the um, the stakers in the liquidity pool, um, over a certain period of time, whatever's generated, they pay that out. Now, typically, you get paid out in whatever the native coin is for that liquidity pool. So, for example, if a liquidity pool is on Ethereum, typically that pays out in Ethereum. A liquidity pool with cacao will pay out in cacao because the um, that's what the fees are paid.
Okay.
Now, with WLEO, and this may be done, I don't know, with WLEO on Ethereum, the payouts are in Leo because whatever's generated in ETH is then converted to Leo, and the people who put in Leo into the WLEO pool are paid out in Leo. So that's another way to do it. And I don't know how it'll work with these. We'll probably find out in the next day or so. But you got to get money into the liquidity pool because, again, what's the problem? Well, if you want to get $10,000 worth of Hive, that's tough to do, especially in the United States. You want to take and cash out 2,500 in HBD, that's tough to do in the United States because you can't go right now Hive or HBD to Bitcoin or to Litecoin or USDC to go to Coinbase or something like that. So hopefully, as this gets built, then there's great appeal. And if the liquidity pool is deep enough, you could have people moving some decent volumes through. And that would help because, right now somebody would have a tough time in the United States buying $100,000 worth of Hive unless they really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's just not on Coinbase. You can't go and say, I want to swap $100,000 worth of Bitcoin into Hive. Can't do it.
No.
So,
Well, this was a good talk again. Thank you. I
yeah, we
hope,
didn't talk much LEO Glossary, but a lot of stuff's on hold there.
right. Well, I hope they get all these basics fixed up in the next at least day or couple days so we can start playing with embedding videos again.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's AMA because, there's a lot of stuff taking place, but we also need some answers.
What time is that at?
Noonish. I don't know. They never start on time, but it's about noonish.
Noonish Eastern time.
Yeah, it's Eastern.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, everyone have a good night, and have the AMA tomorrow, and we'll be back in another Lions Den on Friday.
Yeah, we'll have Alliance done on Friday.
And I don't have to work on Fridays, so I can probably be on it.
That's good.
All right. Well, you guys have a good night, and we will see you soon. Bye
All right.
bye.